The Pittsburgh Steelers were AFC North champions once again. They made it to the playoffs, but lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the divisional round. People had high hopes for this season, and they thought that they could possibly even go to the Super Bowl, But something tells me they were not that good. Well, I think a lot of things tell me that they weren't that good. I did this last year with the Cowboys and the Raiders, and now I'm here to do this with the Steelers. I'm here to tell you why. The Pittsburgh Steelers were not that good here in 2017. First of all, I never once believed in the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. Earlier, when I did my NFL um, season predictions, I basically didn't even predict them going to the AFC Championship game. I didn't believe in them for 1 second. I was like, I don't trust these Steelers. The Steelers have tricked me enough to where I think that they'll be good, but they end up losing in the AFC Championship game, in the divisional round, of the wild card round. I know these Steelers are the same team every year. You have high expectations, but they don't go anywhere. Um, Early on, they had some dysfunction. You had the whole Le'Veon Bell situation. Antonio Brown was complaining about not getting the ball enough when they played the Jaguars. I mean, there was stuff going on with the team early in the season. The whole Alejandro Villanueva, he is the only player that goes out during the anthem protest, or what wasn't an anthem protest, whatever they wanted to call it. That whole thing that happened there. So there was dysfunction within the team early on. There was trouble, and I knew right away. I'm like, I'm starting to see it. The Steelers aren't that good. I'm starting to see it. Then they were destroyed by the Jaguars. When I mean destroyed, I mean Big Ben threw like, what, 5, 6 interceptions. It solidified the Jaguars, and it made me think, yeah, these Steelers, they're not going to be good. They're not going to go to the AFC Championship game. Um, you know, Throughout that whole season, they always seemed to play from behind. They could never, have a lead. No matter who they were playing, they always seemed to have to play catch up, no matter if the team was good or bad. You know, and they always had trouble against lesser teams. I saw them. There were certain games, like games against the the Bengals and the Ravens, where they should not have won. They got lucky and they won. That they should not have won. That the Steelers should not have won, and they won them. They won them anyway. The Bengals and Ravens. They were close games, yet they ended up. The Ravens and Bengals ended up losing, and the Steelers ended up winning. Even against the Browns, the last game of the season, they struggled against Cleveland. Cleveland almost won their first game of the season. Then we all know what happened. They didn't. But they did struggle against lesser teams. Like the schedule, and like they're struggling against teams that they should be destroying if they're really all this. They're a great team. It's all Big Ben and Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. The big three. The killer bees. Yet they don't seem to handle teams the way they should. The defense hurt them a little bit. Their defense is young, a little bit inexperienced. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not. I don't think it's playoff caliber. I don't trust the Steelers' defense enough for me to be like, if I don't trust them. This is what I'm trying to say. I knew this video was coming. I knew that I was going to make this video by mid-season. I saw this team. I'm like, this team isn't good. This team isn't good. They're not as good as people think. And everybody thought, the Steelers, they're gonna play the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. I was like, calm down. Nothing's gonna happen. I know these teams. I've seen this story. I've seen this movie a bunch of times. They're not gonna do anything, and I was right. They caught fire, which, like I said, that I mentioned the dysfunction earlier. Them, catching fire at the right time made people forget that they were this dysfunctional team. It's, it happens. When you start winning, things start to go away. People start to forget things. They start seeing what's happening in front of them and not what happened before. But the dysfunction was still there. It seemed like ego and arrogance really cost them this season. It really did. Just look at the video urinating tree made on the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's all right there. It's the same thing. You see the dysfunction and the ego that hurt this team for the whole entire season. It was just, Bell wanting a new contract, the whole Antonio Brown thing, like I mentioned earlier on in the video. And now we're here. The Pittsburgh Steelers were not that good. I was right about them. And so, yeah, that's me calling out the Pittsburgh Steelers for them not being all that good. Next season, I don't think they'll win the division. They're not going to go to the AFC Championship game. They won't have one of the higher seeds. They'll play in the wild card round, but they'll win the division. Jesse James didn't catch it either, just to make Pittsburgh fans even more angrier. The Steelers are going to go 10-6 at best next season, and that's it. If you have any suggestions for any other teams that I should spotlight, comment below. That's it. The Pittsburgh Steelers were not that good in 2017.